Bite-Sized and Bossy, rising up the ranks, handing out encouragement, deposits in their banks. Inspiration coming at you like a river flowing. Women paving paths, look at them going. Bite-Sized and Bossy, rising up the ranks, handing out encouragement, deposits in their banks. Inspiration coming at you like a river flowing.
All right, welcome. We have an amazing guest today, and I'm Erin,
I'm Tammy.
And I'm Chrissy.
and this is
Byte-Sized and
Bossy.
We'll get it. Well, we're all
Erin
back
went really
together now.
fast that time.
I did.
I was
It
like
too
looking
fast.
at your
It
lips
was too
too. I was
fast.
like,
I was
trying.
I was ready to go, but we have an amazing guest today, and we're so excited. And she is, she's done podcasts before. You'll know because she has the whole microphone set up. But her name is Bernedette, and I want her to introduce herself. But she is with Food on Demand, and we're excited to have you, Bernedette. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you all for having me. I'm a big fan of what you are all doing. My name is Bernedette Heier. I'm the managing editor at Food on Demand. So I oversee a lot of the driving the editorial content as well as helping host our podcast, webinars we do throughout the year. And then a big part is our Food on Demand conference where you will probably see me interviewing folks on stage. So that's my current role.
And where were you at before Food on Demand? Like you're pretty new to the restaurant industry, aren't you?
Yeah, so I've been at Food on Demand for 2.5 years, but before this, I was actually in the broadcast industry, the normal news cycle. So I was a multimedia journalist right out of college. It was in Mankato, Minnesota. I'm based in Minneapolis. That's about an hour and a half from here. And basically, I'd be going to sites with a tripod in one hand and a camera in the other and interviewing people on site, editing everything together before the 6 o'clock news. So definitely learned a lot from that. And then when I was searching for my next role, really interested in the restaurant industry and kind of having a journalism aspect there, especially since I grew up working in restaurants too. So that's kind of how I found this outlet. But yeah, I started off as the hustle and bustle of a journalist running around two stories.
That's fantastic. Well, I think you're obviously a little bit younger than us ladies, and I think you're from a generation that has that opportunity, right? That you get to walk around with your phones and create this great content. So, what's your favorite thing then about working at Food on Demand and all the wonderful content that you're creating there?
Yeah, I love the podcasting. I love the interviewing people in person and on a stage, similar to, what you probably feel doing this podcast. I love writing. That was my first love, but I really enjoy the media side of Food on Demand where we get to host these webinars or talk in person or host these in-person events. That was a new ball game for me. It's one thing to, do it for the TV, but then it's another to do it in front of hundreds of people. So that was a new area for me that I actually really, really enjoy.
You guys, did you catch that? She thinks we're professionals.
Yeah.
You are.
Wait,
you are.
so a couple of things. Teach us your ways on like how to be really cool, like recording stuff from our phone because I cannot figure it out. And I even have a teenager, and she's like,
older.
"Mom, I like try to record like a TikTok, and I am like so TikTok illiterate, and I'll send it to her. I'll like save it as draft, and I'll show it to her. She's like, you cannot post that.
I
You
do. I
cannot
want you to
post
make a TikTok. Can you please make a TikTok for me and post it? Like that should be a challenge. I feel like we just took on that challenge based on what you just said. So I need you to make a TikTok.
Erin,
Chrissy.
you're the TikTok queen.
Well,
you are a TikTok
I can't
queen.
hold a candle to my 9-year-old son, but
Right.
I need this in my life now.
That's
Your
funny.
TikTok.
Well, Bernadette,
Also, like,
are you using TikTok? Like,
No,
is
I actually don't use it as much as I should. We have a great social media team here for Food on Demand. So I'll give a shout out to Sonia. I know she's exploring TikTok and she's really amped up our social media presence.
Well, if Sonia needs me, I'm there. I'm
yeah,
there. For her.
yeah.
actually, Liam, you could put Liam
Yeah.
to work.
I'll send Liam.
he's quite the little ladies' man at 9.
He really is. He was my best friend when I was there visiting.
I bet he was.
Yes, he was.
All right. So Sonia's amazing.
Yes, she's amazing. So she does her social media for Food on Demand. Personally, I need to get better at TikTok too. So
Well,
there's
we can
that.
do it together. We can do it
We
together,
could.
Bernadette.
There's like the
Yes.
anxiety one, the like anxiety song with Will Smith. Like we could do that one. Like
Yeah,
that. I mean, he's not canceled anymore. I think he's back. I'm not sure, but it's really fun. It's really fun. We could do that all together.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
So also I think something that's really cool. Like I am a big kind of news junkie and I love that like you took your tripod and you went out and you like interviewed people and were you like would you go on like the scene of like car crashes or like house fires and like all that stuff?
Oh my gosh. So it was such an interesting first job out of college. I learned so much. I would have days where I would drive out to a fire and film the fire and film, like, interview, unfortunately, who's probably having a really bad day.
Mhm.
I interviewed politicians. So I'd be going to, the Capitol and things like that. And then just community events and a lot of restaurants, which was fun.
Yeah.
I was a journalist during the pandemic when a lot of restaurants had to close down. So
Oh.
I was able to kind of get some owner stories out and help them
Mm.
connect. Hey, we're doing, drive, or we're doing pickup now, or we're doing whatever we can to stay alive. So there
Yeah.
was a range of things. I loved it, but it also, I give credit to the right out of college multimedia journalist. It's very low pay and it's a hustle, and you are going everywhere, and definitely need to have a passion for it. But yeah, I remember specifically, being like, Bernadette, can you drive out to this fire like right now? And I'm like, okay, I'll go. So yeah, I did a lot of random things. Yeah.
You know
Wow.
what's really funny? I live in the South, and I promise you, every time they interview somebody at like a fire or a car wreck or some incident that's happening, they like are missing teeth or they're
Bernadette
wearing
seems to have all of
they're
her teeth.
wearing like wife beaters. Sometimes they might not even have on a shirt. And I'm like, why do they pick the most random people to interview and plaster on the news? It's
Also, I
so
think your whole
weird.
state's on fire right now.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's
it
Yeah.
our
is.
turn. We already had our turn.
Yeah, I know. We just have one natural disaster after another here since like the fall. So tell us about food on demand.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Food on Demand, it's our conference, and we've been around for about 8 years, I believe, and we're a sister publication to the Restaurant Finance Monitor, which is the
Mhm.
host of RFDC in Las
Love
Vegas.
that conference.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Love
We are
that conference.
we are big fans, and when you're done telling us about it, I have an idea I want to run past.
Mostly just Las
Cool.
Vegas. That's what I like. Yeah.
right. It's so fun.
Back to food on demand.
It's so fun. Yeah, so that was started 20 years ago by John Hamburger. And then 8 years ago, we kicked off Food on Demand. It wasn't me. Like I said, I've been here for 2.5 years, but big credits to my predecessor, Tom Kaiser, if you guys know him.
I do. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he started this, and he is amazing. And essentially, what we do is we help highlight the restaurant industry that's trying to adapt to this new omni-channel reality. So
Hmm.
we kind of had a big boost after the pandemic because restaurants had to become able to do delivery and had to be online to stay alive. And now everyone's doing it. So it's more about how do we connect restaurants to the right strategies to have a robust off-premises operation, whether that's working with delivery providers or having your drive-through or your pickup
Mm-mm.
in a certain way, and also just ways to attract and retain the digital guests. So we do a lot with helping restaurants understand the right tech vendors or right ways to have good loyalty programs. So kind of a big mouthful there, but so we're a publication. We do a weekly newsletter that dives all into that. We have a weekly podcast, and then, of course, our in-person event.
One, I don't think I'm in the newsletter. I need to get in the newsletter. But two,
You're in every newsletter.
I probably, but you flipped the script. You flipped the script. You said it's not about building a restaurant, it's about getting the food to where the customer is. And that's the whole food on demand, right? We're going to bring it to you wherever you are.
Mm.
And you built an entire conference around that, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I will share with you
Please.
the biggest complaint because I'm on the tech side. So I talk to restaurants all day, every day. And when we do talk about food and food delivery, and you probably know this, but I'm going to say it out loud for all those listening. The absolute biggest complaint, people want their data.
Yes.
And the third-party delivery
Oh, yeah.
companies are literally the only ones who refuse to share the data. You
Mhm.
gotta give you gotta give the data. It's not their customer, it's the restaurant's customer. They're ordering from there. You gotta give them the
Mhm.
Oh
data.
yeah,
Come
that is
on.
the number one thing I hear,
Yeah.
and that's what every restaurant's struggling with. They need their
Mhm.
data, especially from the third party, and also what do they
Mm.
do with it? And
Oh,
how can they leverage their customer data is massive, and I'm sure you hear that all the time, Chrissy.
I
So
literally made a post about it this morning.
yeah, I guess my best advice there is just, the third party delivery providers aren't going to give us that right now. I mean, it continues to be a push all the time. But I think the best you can do is probably partner with an outside vendor or somebody who can help you get what you can from that data, or
Yeah.
in general, other areas that you can try to leverage it. But it's an ongoing fight.
And I
Yeah.
definitely think restaurants could do a better job at tr- putting together a great marketing strategy
Sure.
to convert those third party orders to first party. Like I think they're missing a huge piece on not really doubling down on that.
Yeah, we definitely hear a lot. How do we get more customers to order first party? Which, for anyone listening, that's through your own app and through your own
Mm.
website, so you get that data directly. So yeah, I encourage anyone to definitely try to build out your first party ordering program. That's vital.
Yep.
Well, I
Yeah.
was looking at the sort of tagline on your logo as we're chatting and sort of thinking of my next question for you, which I don't even know if it's a question as much as a statement, but I'm going to try to find a question in there. Um, it's food, technology, and what is it?
Mobility, yeah.
Mobility. Okay. So on that front, there are two other technology conferences in the industry, right? Let's call it MERTech and say FS Tech. But what I consistently hear from people that go to Food on Demand is that Food on Demand has the best tech display of any of the conferences because it's people that are trying to do things that are new. And
Mm.
so I constantly hear that Food on Demand is a great conference for the tech space specifically, even though it's not positioned as like a straight up tech conference because of that. So is that something you guys are going after? Like, do you want more of broader technology vendors? Like, what are you hoping? Where do you see Food on Demand evolving over time? Because if
Yeah,
people think it's just a delivery conference, they're
right.
not going to come for that.
That's what I've always thought. Just
Yeah.
Mhm.
literally delivery and food and how do you get it to me?
Yeah, well,
It's
it's interesting you said that, Tammy, because that is something that's really changing. I think at Food on Demand is the tech aspect is becoming almost first. Because
mm,
even if we're talking delivery, we're talking tech stack.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's so many
yeah.
ways now that you can leverage tech to be able to have a better delivery program, even with your third party partners.
Yep.
We think about like dispatch technology or knowing
Mhm.
where the driver's at, or even using AI, for example. AI is going to
Hmm.
be a huge topic this year, actually, and it was
Oh,
just
bring
talked
us,
about.
bring us. I want to talk
Yeah,
about it.
yeah. So AI is a huge topic this year again because now it's in almost every conversation, I'd say.
Yeah.
So Food on Demand
I
has
mean, maybe
definitely
we can
evolved.
record live there like that. I
We
mean,
Well,
that could
could,
be a
well,
thing.
hold
Yeah.
on.
That would be
I haven't
awesome.
got to ask my question about the event.
Oh, sorry. I got excited. I got excited. I jumped right
I
in. I
just
had no idea.
It's good. It's good.
yeah,
I was going to say that we consistently as women, and the reason we're doing this podcast is to really create a space for us and to amplify our voices in this industry. And when you go to a conference like RFTC, it is very heavily male, and it is probably
What?
male.
That's new news.
It's
That is
more male than
surprising.
any of the other conferences, maybe not as male as like MERTech, maybe.
Mm.
But so I would love to see RFDC take on something like this to help sort of promote women the way that some of the other events are doing.
Yeah.
So that was my ask to you. And we'd be happy to help and partner and show up and broadcast
I
and do
love that
fun
Tammy
stuff.
just asked you on the spot, Bridget or Bernadette,
She
that
can't
like
she
what
can't say yes or no right now
yeah,
anyway.
I think we should ask her. Like, I feel like that was like a very pointed question, but like we want to
No.
uplift women, right? So,
yeah,
Bernadette, like, if you could take that back to the internal powers
right.
that be, who are probably male, and ask them, that would be lovely.
Well, it's definitely something that I bring up. Now that I'm kind of more leading some of the content and things like that for the conference, I am bringing up. I always want to make sure we have a woman on the panel if
Great.
possible. Like I always try to highlight
Not
a
just
different
one, we need multiple. Like you
all,
shouldn't
or
even be
all
like just
women.
getting
Yeah.
one is like a thing. That is
Right.
crazy.
No, I know, but sometimes it's difficult to
It
find
is hard
because
sometimes.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Bernadette, why is it hard to get only just one woman on the panel?
Well, it's not, it's not always hard. Like sometimes we can get all women panels, but to be honest, I reach out to teams and brands and I say, who can you have speak to this? And they suggest, their higher level speakers who are usually male. And then a lot of times I go back and say, do you have a women leader we can have? But I will say what you guys are doing, and also I'll shout out the Women Leadership conference. It's helped me see more eyes of who's out there. And
Yeah.
being 2.5 years in,
Yeah.
and I'm, connecting with you all, please, let me know if you know of any great women speakers.
We know a lot.
We know a ton.
Three
many.
potential moderators right here.
There you go.
Yes.
Anytime you need one.
But I
don't wanna
also,
moderate. I want to speak. I don't want to ask the questions. I want to tell you my opinion. That's
Okay.
it.
yeah,
I want to
I
ask
can
the
go.
questions, so I don't
I
get
can
myself
go
in
either
trouble.
way. I can go either way. One of the things that I want to just kind of, guess what I'm going to do, Erin?
Are you going to double click? Are you
I'm
gonna
double
double-click on that?
clicking on
Because
what
we're
she
never
just
going to say that
said.
again. You have to censor that out of your, you can never use that word again.
We're not in real life, so I'm double clicking on something
Let's
she
double click on
said.
it. It's so great.
So I think that with what we're doing, and there was another podcast that was just launched recently. I think that we are helping to pull those ladies who may not have gotten the nomination when you reach out
Mhm.
because maybe they didn't have the confidence to say, you know what, I can go on that stage and
Yeah.
pick me. So that is one thing that I think we're all really, really proud of, is helping ladies come out of their shell a little bit and share. I mean, like, we have a ton of CEO females and CMO females and
Yep.
COO and CTO and CIO and all of that. And I think like just getting them on a podcast allows them the confidence to
Yep.
say, you know what, I will go and sit on this panel and I will speak. So we're always happy to make those introductions for you.
Bernadette, if someone wants to speak at one of your conferences, how do they reach you?
Yeah, so we put out a speaker submission form very early on, like many months in advance before the conference. That's right on foodondemand.com. That's probably the best spot to get in early. You can nominate yourself or even a panel idea. Or other than that, you can always reach out to my email. It's right listed on the website under About Us. You'll find Be Heier at foodondemand.com. Always reach out to me, and I'd be happy to connect.
That's awesome. Just to be clear, I don't want to be picked ever to be on a panel as a female because I'm a female. I want to be picked because I'm amazing, right? Because I'm good. And
Yeah,
so I
that's not
once did a panel for like women in marketing, right?
Yeah.
And they said, where do you want to see women in marketing in 5 years? And I said, I don't want to effing have this conversation ever again. I want to be in marketing. I want to be a leader in marketing. I don't want to be considered a minority.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. No, for me, it's not about that. It's about, what you can bring to the table. But then again, being mindful of the fact that I do want to represent more on stage, so. But I will say our agenda is fully online right now. And we do have a lot of stellar women leaders and others across the board that I'm excited to bring to stage.
That's awesome. I'm excited for you guys. I have actually never been to Food on Demand. Wow. I was supposed to go like last year, and then I got bumped off the list. I won't say who bumped me off the list, but
I did. I kicked her. I kicked her really hard.
but we did go to RFDC. Erin and I went to RFDC this year for the first time. And let me just give some kudos. Amazing venue. Wow. The Fountain Blue is gorgeous.
Lots of gambling.
Yes, but I didn't do any gambling because I'm not a
I did.
gambler. Lots the restaurants there are great. The sessions were great. The floor hall was jam packed every single time I walked through it. So kudos to you guys for
It was awesome.
yeah, it was probably one of my favorite shows of the year potentially. Yeah. And we actually recorded our first podcast there live and in person.
Wow.
Oh, yes, we did. Right.
Yes, Miss Julie Zucker of
Yes.
Branded. Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it.
So that's super cool.
Yeah, major
Well,
props to the RFDC team. I did
yeah.
a panel there, but that's not planned by me, so that's my colleagues. So huge shout out to them. Yeah.
Oh, well,
that's
that's
amazing.
wonderful.
That's so great.
So, Food on Demand's coming up, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's really
Where is
close.
it being hosted this year? Where?
It'll be May 5th through 7th at the Bellagio in Las Vegas.
I
They
think you guys
love-
always have it there, don't
That's
you?
where I do my
So
dance
far,
competitions
yeah, we
too.
did the Cosmo one year, but we've been to Bellagio a couple times. So
Yeah. And May 5th through 7th, right?
Yes.
And can folks like myself who work for a vendor, can we come by just signing up? Do we need a sponsor?
Yeah, there's different tiers depending if you're an operator or if you're a vendor. All the information is online, and then my conference manager can kind of inform you of your options. But
Perfect.
That's awesome.
That's
All right.
amazing.
All right. So let's talk about like some food for thought questions. Chrissy, I
Sure.
think we're ready for food for thought. How do you feel?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So
I like these. These normally are supposed to be like fast, quick, but we
Yeah.
always go into like side ventures.
We used to call it rapid fire questions, but it turns out Chrissy's really slow. So we wheeled that back. But
Yes.
so Bernadette, when you think about your favorite restaurant that isn't one you've worked with before, what is your favorite restaurant?
oh my gosh, that's a hard question. Trying to think if I have a favorite.
I think we have like favorites in sections, right? Like my
Yeah.
favorite restaurant at home, my favorite restaurant in New York, my favorite. Yeah.
I will say, in Minneapolis, we have a great brewery scene. And so there's this really cute taco spot called Centro that has great margaritas, and it's right next to the Indeed Brewery, if you've ever heard of that. And so we love to go there for like date night or hang out with friends because we can get our tacos and margaritas, and then we can hit a few breweries nearby in
Oh, that's
Northeast
fun.
Minneapolis. So that's probably my
Yeah.
favorite.
I
hangout
love that.
spot.
We're going
Yeah.
to Minnesota for
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Minnesota for our margaritas. That makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
that ticks all the boxes, right? So, Chrissy, your question.
Okay, so it is Friday at 2:30 on the East Coast, so it's 1:30 your time. First part of my question is, will you kick off early today because it's Friday?
Notice how slow this question is. That's why it's not rapid fire anymore.
Not today, but
No.
I'm happy it's Friday.
Okay. And so it's the weekend. What's your guilty pleasure for the weekend to recharge for next week?
It's not necessarily a recharge, but an energy recharge. Kind of random, but I'm really big into the music scene here, and my partner is in the music scene, and you'll probably find us at a lot of local shows on the weekend.
Nice.
What kind of
And
music?
we have one this weekend. You're gonna kind of laugh, but it's actually electronic music.
No,
so
EDM is so fun.
Yeah.
So
Where we use the
fun.
glow sticks?
Yeah.
Do we get to use the glow sticks?
Yes, yes, bring your glow sticks. But my friends and myself, we actually DJ and are involved in the scene with a bunch of local groups who put on shows. So
Wait, are you a DJ?
I am, yeah.
No
I just
way.
started. I've been doing it for a year, but I actually play a show this weekend. So
Oh
Oh
my
my
gosh,
God.
that is so cool.
it's so
That is
random.
so
And
cool.
sometimes I wonder if I should bring this up professionally, but we all need to have our creative outlets, right?
In my head, I
Yes.
have like a whole rave happening where I'm like, you're like there behind the thing with the fake record player and lots of buttons. Like, that's
Lots of
awesome.
buttons. Lots of
Let me
buttons.
tell you how much I love EDM.
Okay.
The second
I
top
didn't know this about Chrissy.
playlist. No, I have a wide variety of music that I love. The second top playlist on my Spotify is Tropical House. Tropical house music with a splash of upbeat rhythms and sunny melodies. And
I
that's what
love
I put
it.
on to make myself happy.
I
Yeah.
love
Mine's like
it.
old
No,
school
it's
Alabama
fun.
from
Yeah.
like country life. Like, I can't,
It's depressing.
I don't know. No, but you can
Ugh.
take me. I'll bring my glow sticks. I'll come.
Yeah.
I'll relate. All right. What's your outside of DJing and all these things, when you're not working or DJing with in the music scene or restaurants, what else do you do? What's your like hobby outside of that?
I am very big into like meditation and healing practices. So, I love
Mm.
to read self-help books as well as I like to do my meditation practice or get outside as much as I can. So it's
You're
finally
just
getting warm in
unbelievable.
Minnesota.
You
You
are
are,
amazing.
yeah,
Thank
you
you.
got a lot of cool things happening. I love it.
I sit for 30 seconds trying to meditate and I'm like, that's enough breathing. I'm done.
I will
Uh,
say the guided meditations are what work for me. My sisters, really got me onto those. So because my brain goes everywhere, but if I listen to like, a guided one, that helps me get my 15 minutes in.
oh man, you need to send us those because I probably need some meditation in my life. Oh,
Aaron, we should
here.
start doing like a guided
Oh
meditation
my God.
every
Could you
day
imagine?
to start our days. That would be so good for
So
us.
I worked a job one time. I'm going to be honest, where
No,
they would
just
be like,
one.
oh, well, I've worked a lot of jobs, but there was one where the exec team, the guy would be like, let's get on the floor and lay down and we're going to do a guided meditation. And it got weird sometimes. And I would be like, this is my job. This is my job.
Yeah.
And a lot of breathing, a lot of breathing, a lot of no, I can't. It's just it was hard. It was hard for me. I didn't know what to do. So
Oh my goodness. That's
I'm
funny.
all for anything, but not like anyway.
Okay,
Um
I have one more question.
Yeah.
Wine, beer,
Ooh.
tequila.
I love my tequila. I like my
she
margaritas.
likes margaritas.
Yeah. But then I like beer. Like I said, we have a lot of fun brewing
Yeah.
here. So I do like
Okay.
beer. Yeah.
We get a lot of wine lovers on this podcast, so
For
it's
She's
sure.
great
in
to hear somebody say
Minnesota.
that they like beer. I
Yeah,
like
no,
beer
I
too.
like IPAs and things like that. You guys
I'm
know.
a I don't alcohol discriminate.
Oh
Sure.
yeah, she's an equal opportunist
I
when
love
it comes to alcohol. Yes, that makes sense.
Just depends on
Um,
my mood.
all right. So our last question, because it's been amazing having you on this podcast. Last question. If you could nominate someone, another woman or women, if there's multiple, that you want to hear from, that you want to listen to on this podcast, who would you nominate?
I'm going to be a bit self-serving in a way, but not actually. I would love for you guys to highlight Laura Michaels, the editor-in-chief of Franchise Times. She's amazing and has built such an amazing program here and leads the magazine and everything else. And personally very inspiring to me as well, especially when I took over the lead role at Food on Demand. She took me out and gave me the advice I needed
That's
to
awesome.
take it. Yeah.
Chrissy, do you know
That's
her?
so good. I do not
I
know.
don't either. So we're going to ask you for an introduction to her
That's
if
Got
you
it.
wouldn't
right.
mind.
You got it.
Yes.
Because we don't know her personally. We would love an introduction so we can talk with her. But like Chrissy, Bernadette's been amazing. Like she's been unbelievable, right?
I love that you shared a couple of really cool things with us that are not work related because look, at the end of the day, we're all humans at the end of the day,
End
and
of the
we
day.
all have our work lives and all of that. But it's really great to get to know people a little bit more on a personal level because
Yeah.
now when somebody's listening and they are an EDM fan and they see you at Food on Demand,
Or they
you're
need
going
to
to make
hire a
an
DJ.
instant connection with them,
Mhm.
right? Everybody can connect over music.
No, this was
Yeah.
amazing. And I've actually never been interviewed like this before. So this was
Aw,
the first
Really?
time, yeah, sharing things outside of like work. So I had so much fun, you guys. I really appreciate it.
that's
We loved
awesome.
having you. It's amazing. If you haven't checked out for any of our listeners, Food on Demand, absolutely need to. And if you haven't followed Bite Size and Bossy, you need to do that too. Follow, like, share, click below, all the things on all the platforms so that we have followers. Yes.
One little thing that I just want to make sure that we point out because we learned something today. It does say food on demand, but this is a very restaurant food tech
Mhm.
forward event. So don't discount yourself because of food on demand if you're providing POS, loyalty, data, analytics, AI. Like you're a great fit for the food on demand conference.
Yes,
Awesome.
Yes.
100%.
You're
Amazing.
welcome.
Thank you so much, Bernadette. We loved having you.
Yes,
Thank you so
absolutely.
much. I can't wait to meet in person. And
I
thank you for
know, me
having
too.
Bite-Sized and Bossy, rising up the ranks, handing out encouragement, deposits in their banks. Inspiration coming at you like a river flowing. Women paving paths, look at them going.